You plant just bite me again?
Probably. Yep.
Stop.
I was trying to steal your crown. Did you see that I was
A lot of the mature males have those large cheek pads, also known as flanges or flanges. The females think that those are cute.
You don't want to hold me? Fine, I'll hold you.
I'm just scared that you'll kill us. We don't need to go over there. No!
My bad.
But yeah, so I've got that, and I'm also working on a song about pangolins. So the 3 songs that I've got are the Axolotl song, the Hawaiian monk seal song, and then a pangolin song. But the pangolin song is not anywhere near as completed. I have the words, so I've got the lyrics, but I don't have the tune yet. So as I was saying earlier, I'm hoping that I'll feel inspired to make more music.
You know what? I'm a VTuber. You will regret this.
Oh, they are. One of their nicknames is a water dog. Do you guys know this song, Amazed by Lone Star? Or we'll do Clarity. We'll do Clarity.
But you do know the song All Star by Smash Mouth.
Hey! Persephone hydrated and stole both my waters! You stole both of them! Rude! Give me my tea!
Never seen a king of beasts with quite so little hair.
I'll show you. I'm gonna... Elephants are earthbenders. You heard it here, folks. Elephants are the real earthbenders of the world.
With whatever currency exchange or whatever.
So... you are super pog. Here, I'll say it if you want to clip it for proof. The reactive Cupid is super pog. Absolutely poggers.
It's only stressful because we're playing together, and therefore we're able to, like, accidentally hurt each other. I go like that!
Hey! You just chucked me
I
off
didn't mean
the
to.
edge! How could you do this to me?
I didn't mean to!
Oh, like up dog? I don't... What is up dog?
Not much.
Oh my goodness. You guys. Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! I am in charge here. I am in charge. I rule this land. Okay. Now that we got this under control again.
I think you sound like you're cool. But yeah, so I'm glad that you all have enjoyed all my music. So just to let you know a little bit about me. Oh yes. So just to let you know a little bit about me. Clearly I play music. and sing, right? But I also somebody's got a question. Sharks seem to attack GoPros a lot. Why is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's being referenced there.
Probably when there's a diver, or if somebody's got a GoPro camera. It's just a camera. So
Yeah, I know what GoPros are. The behavior being described here is not one I'm familiar with.
oh, okay. Animals aren't gonna go and mess with a snake. They don't want to deal with a snake. They wanted a caterpillar. But no, this caterpillar is like, "Rawr, I'm a snake now." Yeah, so it is next level cosplay. I agree. It is awesome. I think this is such a cool caterpillar. Like, who would ever expect that this caterpillar is actually, or that this fake snake is actually a caterpillar, right? Yeah, sock moth caterpillar.
Your plant just bite me again.
Probably. Yep.
Stop.
I was trying to steal your crown. Did you see that I was trying?
It just goes through you. Suck on the plunger. Put it on me and suck the.
Oh.
Yes. Now suck it. It's this foot right there.
Change the settings. Tell it to not be so finicky.
Jeez.
Tell it to be like.
What did they see? Okay.
That's the true face behind Miss Lotl.
Why are you a monster? Okay. I have blinked, you're blinking. Okay.
Then definitely join the Discord, because I want to do karaoke nights and just like cover nights and stuff, because I play ukulele, I play guitar, and I also just sing. Thank you. And that was a song that I wrote myself. I actually wrote it back in, I think it was 2013. And elephants are earthbenders. You heard it here, folks. Elephants are the real earthbenders of the world.
Change the settings. Tell it to not be so finicky.
Jeez.
Tell it to be like.
What did they see? Okay.
That's the true face behind Miss Lotl.
Why are you a monster? Okay. I have blinked, you're blinking. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Oh, hold on a second. Looks like chat is disabled for this live stream. That's not what I'm all about. But hello, everybody. I'm Lotl, of course, and I am joined here by the amazing Meri, who is clearly also an axolotl. And so we're going to be talking about axolotls today, obviously, for our special axolotl stream. And we're going to tell you all about how cool they are, give you some fun facts. Hopefully you'll learn something interesting that you've never heard before. And You'll hear my original Axolotl song, and you will also hear a short little story about axolotls. Okay, let me see if I can fix the chat first. I wonder if I have to like pop it out. Hi, Missouri Miho. Axolotls, yeah. Alright, let's see. So, no. Oh, yes. Alright, sorry. Now you're not muted. So please, introduce yourself again.
Oh, Meri, Lotl. That was...
There we go, and I fixed the chat.
Oh, good.
Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so chat is working. Mary's working.
Working, hopefully.
Alright. So, before we kick off and get started, what made you love axolotls, Meri?
Oh, shoot. See, here's the funny thing. I actually had this story planned just in case. It honestly was kind of love at first sight sort of deal.
Thank
can
you
I
so
share
much.
this story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I went to an aquarium a few years back, and I knew axolotls existed before. I've seen them on the internet and stuff, but I've never seen one in real life until going to this aquarium and seeing a real life axolotl. And I remember looking at them and thinking, wow, you look stupid. Not like they look stupid, but like they look like they're really dumb. And to be fair, they kind of are. I remember my second thought was, a T and an L should not go together like that. And I just kind of stared at this axolotl for about 30 minutes because I thought they were super cute. And on the ride home, I was just like looking at my phone and Googling pictures of axolotls because I thought it was so stinking cute. And, you know, I thought it was going to be just another hyperfixation I'll have for another few months. And several years later, they're still my favorite animal. So I don't think it's a hyperfixation anymore. I think it's just part of who I am.
I think that's fair. So for me, I was actually in college, and when I was in a biology class, they were like, "Yeah, there's this creature. It's called an axolotl," and that was the first time I ever like saw one. You know, aside from in a educational setting, aside from, you know, me being an axolotl and seeing them and stuff, you know. But when I went to college and stuff, that's the first time people really talked about axolotls, and I realized nobody knew what an axolotl was. Everybody was just in awe. They're like, "That looks funny looking. Where does that thing live?" And, you know, nobody knew anything about it. So because of that, I felt like it was my goddessy duty to make sure people knew about axolotls. And so I am here with you talking about axolotls today.
Sweet.
All right, so I have a really good introduction to axolotls that we can show to people to get started. Let me just pull up the video and stuff and turn off my little axolotl slideshow. All right, here we go.
French zoologist Auguste Dumril was baffled while investigating the axolotl. Unlike many other amphibians, which transform into terrestrial adults, axolotls retain their juvenile characteristics and never leave the water. In an attempt to induce metamorphosis, Dumril spent months removing their gills, but in most instances,
Terrible, though.
the axolotls simply grew them back. Indeed, axolotls are masters of regeneration. They can flawlessly regenerate body parts, ranging from amputated limbs and crushed spines to parts of their eyes and brains. So how do they do it, and what other secrets are they keeping? This extraordinary salamander is native to the wetlands in Mexico City. Ancient Aztec people considered it the incarnation of a god named Xolotl, hence the axolotl's name, roughly meaning water monster. Axolotls reach sexual maturity with gills and a tadpole-like dorsal fin. Scientists think their forever young condition, called neoteny, evolved because of their stable habitat. For salamanders that develop in waters that dry up, efficiently transitioning to land is essential. But the lakes axolotls evolved in were unchanging year-round and didn't host many aquatic predators. So, scientists think it was advantageous for axolotls to forego the demands of metamorphosis. However, they haven't completely lost this ability. If exposed to certain substances, axolotls will turn into adults, but they'll often experience shorter lifespans and lose some of their self-healing abilities. These regenerative talents may seem like crazy superpowers to begin with, but axolotls have good use for them. As babies, they're in direct competition, so they snack on each other. This is usually not a huge problem, thanks to how quickly they can regenerate body parts. When an axolotl loses a limb, tissues stimulate growth in the area. Skin cells divide and cover the wound. Then, progenitor cells, which can develop into various bodily tissues, form a mass at the site of injury, and nearby nerves secrete growth-promoting proteins. Over the next few weeks, a new limb emerges as cells proliferate and differentiate in coordination. This process could potentially lead to uncontrolled growth and tumor formation.
That would be
But
terrifying.
axolotls are remarkably resistant to cancer. They have a system in place that tightly controls cellular proliferation. To better understand the axolotl's baffling biology, scientists sequenced its genome. They found it to be more than 10 times longer than a human's. Mutations can change the length of any animal's genome. For whatever reason, salamanders have much more DNA than other vertebrates because they lose parts of it less frequently. Investigating the axolotl's genome, scientists saw many repeated sequences, most of which don't code for proteins and have no known function. They also found genes that are key in regeneration. However, the biggest factor that sets axolotl regeneration apart may not be a set of unique genes, but how they regulate their genes. It's no wonder that axolotls are one of science's most studied animals, but their population in the wild has plummeted. Hundreds of years ago, axolotls thrived under the Aztec capital. Within the surrounding lakes, Aztec people built islands called chinampas for growing crops. This highly productive form of agriculture created a vast system of canals, expanding the lake system's shallow, sheltered habitat, the axolotl's ideal environment. But when Spanish invaders arrived, they began draining the lakes, and even more water has been diverted in recent years. Today, the entire population of wild axolotls is found in just one place, Lake Xochimilco, where it's threatened by pollution and invasive fishes. People are working to regenerate the ecosystem and strengthen the 2,000-year-old chinampa farming tradition. If interest grows, farmers could recover abandoned chinampas and support the local community, along with the axolotl. Eventually, the benefits of saving this salamander might be even greater. Scientists hope that one day we'll be able to apply the axolotl's masterful tumor suppression and regenerative abilities to the human body. Perhaps its secrets are the real reason for the slimy god monster's smile. Sure, axolotls snack on each other's body parts, but do animals really eat their own kind? The
All right. So, yeah. I'm sorry, it was a little bit creepy. I know. No, the babies.
Please, no.
Hey, Rick. Welcome.
Rick.
But yeah, so as you can see, axolotls are pretty crazy, right? Like, there's a lot of things that they do that's unlike other animals. Talk about crazy regeneration powers, right? But unfortunately, what?
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. I was taking a drink of water I didn't want you to hear.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, Madam Mystery. Welcome. Yeah, so it's
Not a mystery.
but it's really sad at the same time, just how valuable to science they are. On one hand, it's good because you know there's always going to be a population of axolotls that exists. But then there's also the whole trade-off of, you know, they're kind of lab experiments. I did not eat my siblings, confirmed. Rude.
I mean, do you have any siblings?
No.
Kinda sus. Kinda. just I'm not gonna accuse you or anything. Just saying.
I have no axolotl siblings. I have other siblings.
Okay, if you say so.
Don't you suss at me. But at the other end of the spectrum, like there's 3 places that you can find axolotls. You know, there's in the wild, which is very rare. You're gonna find very few axolotls out there. But in their native range, you can find them potentially, hopefully. But you can also find them in laboratories because scientists are studying axolotls heavily, trying to find out the cure for cancer, the cure and for using stem cells to regrow body parts and injured limbs and injured organs and things like that. And then you'll also find them in the pet trade. Hey Kyrie, welcome. So yeah, there's different places you can find axolotls, but most of the times you're not going to end up finding them out in the wild. And that's really sad. Okay, so now, before we like really get into it all and stuff, part of the kickoff is I wanted to sing my axolotl song for you guys.
Sweet, I love this song.
So I'm going to sing the axolotl song for you, and then we're going to kind of break it down and talk about the different parts of the song and what they really are referring to. So let me just go ahead and pull up my music. All right, you guys ready for the axolotl song? Mary's ready.
I'm always ready for this song.
All right. Axolotl, not a lotta, axolotl, not a lotta, axolotl. Axolotls come from Mexico. With feathery gills they tickle nearby fish. Oh no, they stay babies their whole life. Whoa, never go through metamorphosis. They're so cute you wanna give them all a kiss. Axolotl, not a lotta, axolotl. axolotl, not a lot of axolotls. Axolotls are endangered because they have no home. The lake they live in has been destroyed. So now we keep them as our pets and cover them every chance we get. Axolotl, not a lot of axolotl, not a lot of axolotl. Scientists study these little floofs, cause the healing powers are through the roof. Axolotl, not a lot of axolotl, not a lot of axolotl. One more time. Axolotl, not a lot of axolotl, not a lot of axolotl. Hey, dragon.
Hi, dragon.
Oh,
I love that song. That song is great. Thank you.
thank you. Axolotls are also sometimes called cute and friend. Has the Spin Studio recorded yet? No, it has not. I'm sorry to have let you down. It will be at some point soon, TM. I can name at least 2 cute and friendly axolotls in this stream alone. That's true. That's true, Persephone. You can count. There is Meri, and then there is also Meri, and I'm here too.
I mean, I didn't want to make the joke, but I was going to do that the other way. And like, there's Miss Lotl, and she counts twice because she's so great. Glad we're on the same page, though.
But yeah, 2 axolotls here presenting about axolotls. What could be better, right? I should probably try to figure out the whole recording stuff sometime soon, though, because that would be good. All right, so let me pull up my axolotl pictures again. There they are. So here you can see a bunch of the different kinds of axolotls that you can find. The wild type is the only one that you'll really find out in the wild, obviously. So look for that when it comes up. All the other ones are different mutations that you find in the pet trade and in the... So there's the wild type. There's the wild type. Everything else is going to be found in the pet trade or in laboratories around the world. And
Is there a chimera type up there?
What?
Is there a chimera type up there?
There's not. I just grabbed a couple of photos really quick to be able to show some of the different variations.
That's okay. Can I talk about a chimera type real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so a chimera type happens when 2 eggs fuse together, and still like grow into a single. So it's hard to happen. You can't make it happen yourself. They need to fuse naturally and also form a single egg. But what a chimera type axolotl is one that is perfectly pink down one side and a darker color, sometimes brown or black, down the other side. And it's like perfectly split.
Oh yeah.
In the middle.
Here, I'll bring in a picture. All right, here's a chimera type.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, so chimera type. That's pretty fascinating. Yeah, there's so many different variations of axolotls that you can find. But the most common one that you'll find is going to be either the leucistic. That's the one that, you know, I'm based off of and that Meri is based off of.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is going to be the black
what is it called? It'll come back up. I don't want to say it wrong. And as you can see, the albino, the big difference is that it's got the different... Okay, so black melanoid. That's what I was trying to say. So leucistic and black melanoid are the ones that are going to be the most common that you'd find in the pet trade. But also all these other colors too. Specifically, people will go and breed ones that are specific kinds of variations that they like. But yeah, so they're very fascinating. You find them in the pet trade a lot, but they are really, really hard to find in the wild, which is really sad.
It's sad.
Let me pull back my notes. Your favorite type of axolotl is VTuber? Oh, shucks. Yeah, there's not very many axolotl types that are VTubers. There are some, but not that many. It's a very specific type.
Just like real axolotls, the VTuber type is low in numbers.
Silver Dalmatian. Okay. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different kinds as we're talking about, and some people have specific ones that they really like. Silver Dalmatian. Axolotl.
Oh yeah, those are cute.
I know, they're really fun. Alright, here's a Silver Dalmatian axolotl. Isn't that fun? Look at all the speckles. The speckles are great.
Like you put sprinkles on it. Everything's better with sprinkles.
Kind of looks like somebody had a little bit too much fun with a little can of spray paint. They're like... Yeah, it's really pretty. And I love how you can see the gills on this picture too. How they look so feathery. Yes, it is so spotty. So, with my naming convention, if I had this axolotl, I would end up calling it probably Spotty or Spot. No, I probably wouldn't call it Spot. There's too many spots for it to be named Spot. I probably would have called it Spotty or Cookies and Cream is what Dragon said. It does kind of look like a Cookies and Cream axolotl. Although I wouldn't name it that.
I would name it Cerberus.
Yeah, take a look in the background. You can see the Silver Dalmatian type. You see next to the pink one? Behind us and stuff?
And the other one's a copper type, right? Or am I wrong? Am I mistaken?
The other kind might be. Let me pull up the let's see, copper type axolotl. No, copper type axolotls are more yellow. Well, maybe. Honestly, it's really hard to tell because there's so many different variations. And then there's also... axolotls can slightly change their color. So they could be one kind, but they can also end up shifting their color to be a little bit more yellow or green or more leucistic or melanoid. So it's kind of hard to say sometimes.
Axolotls just do what they want.
They do. They're like, oh, I would like to change my appearance ever so slightly to be matching in with this substrate. But yeah, I just think it's so cool how many colors they come in. But in the wild, they really only come in one. Because all the other ones would put them at risk for predators. They live in like these nice murky waters that are dark and you'd think that they're gross. But in dark, murky waters, it's better to be dark and easy to hide among all the murk, you know?
Camouflage.
Yep. Camouflage is quite important. Okay, so let's go and dissect my song, right? So in my song, I say axolotl, not a lotta, axolotl, not a lotta, axolotl, right? That's because they are endangered. They are not very easy to find in the wild. Persephone, if you want to send it to me, I'll pull it up. But yeah, so they're hard to find in the wild. But they come from Mexico. So axolotls come from Mexico. With feathery gills, they tickle nearby fish. Oh no. So they're actually native to only one place in the world. They're endemic to Mexico. Specifically, they're only found in one lake system. They actually used to be found in 2 lakes in Mexico City. Lake Xochimilco, which is where they can still be found, and Lake Chalco. So unfortunately, Lake Chalco in Mexico City was drained to avoid flooding many, many years ago. And unfortunately, this completely decimated their range. So the Lake Xochimilco and Chalco Basin was once about 77 square miles of marshes, swamps, and lagoons. But then after they drained the Lake Chalco, it was reduced to... oh, I guess I didn't have the number. I thought I had the number there. But no, it was significantly reduced. And that was 85 years ago they did that.
It's like almost non-existent now.
Yeah. I think I read that they have like a... I don't want to say it wrong. I thought I had it, but like some kind of square miles. Okay, yeah. So they're critically endangered. They occupy less than 4 square miles of habitat. So, going from 77 square miles reduced to like 4. That's pretty tragic. That's pretty terrible.
How many years ago did you say that was?
Looks like it was reduced 85 years ago when drainage projects were completed.
Dang, that's fast. I mean, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
No, not a fan. So they're only native to that one lake system, and then because of all of the buildup of Mexico City, lakes were drained. They've built series of canals, and so now they're very scarce due to the loss of their habitat. And then, in addition to that, people introduced carp and tilapia, which don't even belong there.
Very invasive species.
Yeah. Do you happen to know why they introduced the carp and tilapia?
Wasn't it so that they could farm them? Like basically fish up the tilapia?
Yeah. So they introduced carp and tilapia into those waterways and stuff. Specifically in the 1970s and 80s, so 1970s and 1980s, because of part of the food and agricultural agreements that they had with the UN. Mm-hmm. As part of an effort to get more protein into the local diet. So it was like a UN kind of project to help Mexico. But unfortunately, nobody thought about what kinds of implications that could have. So these predatory fish have thrived, but unfortunately they have been picking off young axolotls and also competing with their food sources. So all in all, it's bad news for the axolotls.
Yeah, it's not like different fish need different kinds of water or anything.
Yeah. What's really sucky though too is that not only did they just put a whole bunch of these non-native invasive species into this lake, they put it into the one lake that is home to the axolotls.
Yeah.
Like the
That's like,
one place on Earth that axolotls exist naturally. They're like, let's just put these fish there.
what could possibly go wrong?
And it's not like these creatures don't have significance to the people of Mexico. Like for a long time, they're like historically significant, culturally significant.
Mhm.
There's Aztec lore involving axolotls. So
Yeah,
it's what?
sorry, I was about to say like yeah, like the Aztec gods, the Lotl and stuff.
Yep. Aztec god Xolat.
Cholat, that's what his name is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. As part of my lore, Xolat's actually my father. But I'm trying to find out more about him and unravel the mystery of all the Aztec lore, because by this point, nobody seems to know much. So I'm going around trying to get more information, figure out what really happened to my father. Alright, so let's continue on. With feathery gills, they tickle nearby fish. Oh no. So, if you look at our heads, everybody, you can see both myself and Meri also have gills. And they are fluttery and they stick out of our heads. These are external gills. And most times you don't see gills. Fish, for example, have gills, but they are internal. You see little gill slits, and then they have the little feathery gill things going on the inside. We have external gills, and so that makes it easier for us to have more surface area to have that oxygen exchange.
It's like super gills.
Yeah, super gills. We also
More gills.
have lungs too.
Yeah,
So we're like really good at breathing.
we need to be. And, us axolotls are natural born sprinters.
Okay, here we go. I've got a good chart for you to see some of the different axolotl morphs.
Oh boy.
Alright, here you go. Check it out that. So we've got the wild type. We've got the silver Dalmatian. Mosaic. Dirty leucistic. A normal leucistic. GFP. So that is one where there's been a protein inserted into the axolotl. And that makes it glow under a black light. Then there's copper. Piebald. That one's interesting. That one kind of reminds me of Toothless. Toothless is actually based off of axolotls.
That makes sense. I have a friend who has a golden axolotl, and she named it Toofus.
Oh yeah, two fists.
Because that's kind of what he would say if you tried to say toothless without any teeth. Toofus.
That's funny. And then there's the chimera, which is what you were talking about earlier.
Love the chimera.
Then we've got an albino. And you can see the difference between the albino and the leucistic. Check out its eyes. So the eyes on a leucistic are going to be black, whereas the albino is going to have the traditional albino colored eyes that you come to expect, like usually red, I believe. But yeah, so that's the difference. Leucistic axolotls are not actually albino. Then there's the golden axolotls, which are more of like a yellowish color. And then firefly axolotls are pretty interesting. They're unique in that you can only get them in a lab, I believe. And it has to do with how Here, let me see what I had found about that, because I had something pulled up specifically about that. And I don't want to lead you guys astray. Okay, so firefly axolotls are an artificially created morph developed by somebody named Lloyd Stroh. And so basically, embryonic grafting was originally used to study limb regeneration. And so there was controversy about using this method to create pets. The firefly trait must be created in a lab, making them very rare. So they are darkly colored wild-type axolotls with a green fluorescent protein, albino tail. So they have albino tails with a green fluorescent protein, which means that they glow. Their tail will glow under a black light.
Their tail glows?
So
Like a
they're
firefly.
Yes, they're called fireflies because only part of their body will glow under a black light. So a wild type with an albino tail will glow bright green on only the tail, just like a firefly. But like I said, this is only for, you'll only find this in a lab setting, and it was only because they were studying like embryos and the reproductive process and stuff like that. So there's controversy on that. All right, let's see. So, like I was saying, you know, they've got external gills. So they breathe through their gills. But did you also know that they can breathe through their skin? Did you know that, Meri?
Sorry, I was thinking, it's like, that sounds familiar, but like, do I just want to say that? But like, that does sound familiar, but I don't think I knew a lot about it. I think it's just something I just read offhand and like, oh, that's neat, and then like casually forgot seconds later.
So, yeah, they can breathe through their gills, but they're also able to respire through their skin, just like most amphibians. One of the big reasons why you're not supposed to go and pick up like salamanders when you come across them out in the wild is because their skin is very, very sensitive. They're very like prone to pulling in toxins from the environment. That means that if you pick up something and your hands aren't like clean and everything, you could transfer toxins to a salamander. And axolotls are salamanders. They just are aquatic salamanders.
Mm-hmm.
So they like respire through their skin, and they're also sensitive to the environment around them as a result. And Persephone says the third axolotl in the background is the Enigma morph.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't. Did we
Look at
talk
its
about the
tail.
Enigma?
What?
Did we talk about the Enigma?
Not offhand.
They
But
look all glittery.
But the Enigma is a dark gray with a white belly and toes. It has pale red gills and golden eyes, and it's covered in shiny golden patches that appear green from certain angles.
Kind of looks like a tiger salamander.
But I don't know. This one's apparently a one-of-a-kind axolotl, first discovered by a breeder in the U.S. And it's a wild-type axolotl with a high number of iridophores, which is something about their genetics. But there's currently only one Enigma, and not much is known about its genetics or the inheritability of the morph. So it's named Enigma because it is an axolotl Enigma.
Axolotls really do just do whatever they want.
Guess so. But it sure looks cool. I bet other people have come across Enigmas by now. They just didn't know that it's so rare, and people didn't know to tell people about it.
That could be.
Because with how many Like, I bet if I Google Enigma type axolotl, I'm sure I will find more than just one picture. Like, I'm sure I'll find like, it's probably not the same axolotl. Okay, so I'm not finding that much, but still. I still stand by what I said. I'm sure there's other ones. It is cute. It's very cute. Axolotls are cute and fun and derpy and adorable. And they have smiles. How many other animals just have nice smiles? Am I right or am I right?
And if they do have a smile, how many other animals have a smile as cute as the axolotls?
Right? True. Alright, so the next part of the song is, hey Toto, welcome, welcome. So the next part of my song is, you know, they stay babies their whole life. Whoa! Never go through metamorphosis. So the big takeaway from that is that axolotls are something called neotenic. So they achieve sexual maturity without losing any of their larval features. So while a lot of the amphibians, like, you know, salamanders, they go through metamorphosis to develop lungs and live on land, axolotls end up keeping those trademark feathery external gills and their tadpole tails and remain aquatic. That also means that they never really develop teeth. They eat with a suction method. They go, ow.
Swallow it whole.
Yeah, they basically just swallow it whole. And so with that in mind, going through metamorphosis isn't actually something that they normally do in the wild. When they do go through it, it's usually because there's been a significant environmental stressor, or because they were forced by a scientist as part of research, or something happened, like when they were like being, you know, they're a pet in somebody's aquarium and something happened and caused a stressor, then they might go through metamorphosis and turn into a land salamander. But there's pretty significant trade-offs. They lose a lot of their ability to regenerate, and their lifespan is also shortened dramatically. So they can at least do it. That hasn't been lost to them, but it's not something that they normally do, and it's not usually something that's recommended. But I have a silly song for you to listen to and enjoy. It's quite silly. Prepare yourself. I'm not sure you're prepared for this because it's pretty outlandish. Let me make sure you can see it, since I've got all this stuff on my screen. There we go. All right, you're prepared? All right, well then, here you go.
I used to be an axolotl. I did what axolotls
Is this your song?
This is not my song.
Through gills, my skin was mottled. I know you won't believe it's true. But then one day I found a bottle filled with salamander goo. I drank a little, then a lotl. I necked the whole ungodly brew. Now I'm a
Salamander, 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 la 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 la. Salamander, 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 la 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 la. Salamander, 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 yeah yeah yeah. Salamander, 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 yeah.
Can't see, but I'm also bouncing.
a At first I loved my change of species, embraced my metamorphic fate. I breathed through lungs, I walked the earth, I took a salamander mate. But nowadays I'm melancholic, I miss my neotenic state. I rue the day I drank that bottle, I can't go back now, it's too late. Now I'm a
Salamander, 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 la 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 la. Salamander, 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 la 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 la. Salamander, 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 ya ya ya. Salamander, 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 all time. Salamander, salamander, la 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 la.
Yeah. That was the funny song that I had to show to everybody.
It's really cute. Love that.
Yeah, there's a couple of different axolotl songs that exist out there. Obviously this one's not my axolotl song, but
Oh no, I said that as a joke. Don't worry.
well, I remember discovering it either shortly after I made my song or like around the time that I made my song. And I was like, my song is called the Axolotl Song. And then I looked it up and I found this and I'm like,
There are multiple songs called the Axolotl Song that I found.
I know. They didn't used to exist. Mine was the first one, I think.
You're the OG Axolotl Song.
Mine's the original Axolotl Song, except I never got it published, so it doesn't count.
One thing's for sure, though, is yours will always be my favorite.
Aw, you're so sweet. But yeah, so as you can see, that axolotl drank a bottle of salamander goo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was forced to go through metamorphosis. It wouldn't have gone through it otherwise. All right.
Aren't they like closely related to the tiger salamander?
They are. Their
And so
closest relative is the tiger salamander.
Yeah, so they kind of turn into something similar looking to the tiger salamander.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a picture of a metamorphosized axolotl. Oh, they look so weird. Like, it looks like a poor naked salamander. I will show you.
Gills. How is it supposed to breathe if it doesn't have gills?
This is a metamorphosized axolotl. This is probably a leucistic axolotl. So, it's lost its gills, it's lost its tadpole tail, and so now it's a land salamander. Pretty weird though, right?
It looks so sad.
It looks, yeah. It looks so foreign. It's like, what has happened?
I feel like I shouldn't be looking. It's like looking at a peeled lemon or something. Like, it's natural somewhat, but you don't want to look at it. You don't want to think about it.
Yeah, it just looks naked to me.
Like a naked mole rat.
Yes. Okay, and then here's one that's a melanoid one. I believe that's what it's called.
They look so scared.
Yeah, they look so alien, so strange. Like, we're so used to seeing how they look with the gills and underwater, which is pretty alien in and of itself, that we're looking at a creature that looks like a normal-ish land salamander, and we're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Give it back its scales. Put it back in the water.
Yeah, give me the other alien thing.
We prefer the other alien. Send it back. All right. So let me see. But I think it's so interesting that they still can go through metamorphosis, even though it's not a good thing.
Possibility. Axolotls just do whatever they want.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes axolotls will go through metamorphosis unprovoked, and it's just a part of, like, their genetics. Their genetics, you know, they decided they were going to go through metamorphosis, and that's what they do. Yeah. And so that's fine, but they should never be, like, forced to go through metamorphosis, and they shouldn't. You should not be trying to get them to go through it. If they go through it naturally, that's one thing, but it hurts their ability to regenerate, and it shortens their lifespan. I don't remember how much it shortens their lifespan, but axolotls can live for, like, you know, 10 to 15 years, something like that. And I think it gets them down to, like, you know, 2 to 5. I could be making these numbers completely up, so don't quote me on that, but and then we were also talking about how they have those fish, right? Those fish are competing with them and eating their foods and stuff. And although they look derpy and not very intimidating, axolotls are actually a top predator in their native range, right? They eat fish and worms and insects and mollusks and crustaceans. They eat a lot of things. They're not picky. So axolotls are not picky eaters, and they will eat just about anything that they can suck up. If it fits in its mouth, it's food.
They're scary. Even if it's not food.
Well, you know what? They'll also eat some, like, pebbles and stuff. They'll eat pebbles, and they'll use that to help them, like, with the whole, like, eating process, since they don't have teeth. It helps them basically break down things that they swallow, and kind of serves as a assistant for chewing.
That's what I do too.
Good plan. And so, you know, they'll eat meat that's dead or alive. If there's not very much food, but there's other young axolotls, then they can be cannibalistic, and they will, you know, nom nom on the nearest family member, which is not very nice, but at least they do have that amazing ability to regenerate, so there is that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, mothers will eat their young.
Oh,
just
that's not
warp them up.
That's not very effective for the whole, you know, trying to repopulate.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, nature is brutal sometimes, guys. Nature can be brutal.
Nature's fascinating. Nature is also terrifying.
Yeah, nature can be pretty terrifying. Alright, so the next lyric is, axolotls are endangered because they have no home. The lake they live in has been destroyed. So we've talked a bunch about this already. Between the loss of habitat, really bad pollution, and then the introduction of carp and tilapia, axolotls are actually slated to be extinct in the wild by 2025. So if nothing changes, and if conservation programs can't save them, if things don't change from the trajectory that they're at right now, You won't be able to find an axolotl in the wild after 2025. They're already so rare. And
I say we just build them another lake. Sorry.
I mean, I've thought that too. I've wondered why we couldn't just put them into a nearby lake. Like, surely their range is like right over there. Maybe they could just get added to a little lake that's the next closest lake or something. But there must be some problems with that if they haven't been able to do that. I do remember hearing and reading some information about them introducing axolotls to a couple of little lakes and stuff nearby, so that might be something that they are doing. But anytime that you introduce an animal like that to an ecosystem, you have to figure out what the impacts are going to be. And humans with good intentions don't necessarily know the best things. So there's always the chance that something bad could happen, even if you do it with the best intentions.
Yeah, you can't just go adding, like, off the top of my head, tilapia or perch to a random lake or some canals all willy-nilly.
Yeah. You have to assess it and see if there's other endangered animals there, figure out the different ecosystems that exist, the food web, what different animals are eating, see how adding whatever animal you're thinking of adding is going to affect that and change it, because the whole dynamic of that ecosystem could change when you add a single animal.
Mm-hmm.
Or a single species, I should say.
Yeah, that might be a better way of wording it.
Dropping in a single axolotl into a lake probably isn't going to just suddenly make a giant population of axolotls that can survive.
It might, though.
Maybe if the axolotl was pregnant.
There you
go. What?
There you go.
In short, don't just be eating fish into lakes. That's right. Absolutely. Hey, Bongo. Welcome.
Hi, Bongo.
You are dead of heat but arrived. I'm glad you made it. And so actually, there is a specialist in Mexico that has done a ton of research and is very involved in axolotl conservation and research, named Luis Zambrano. And one day, maybe hopefully someday, I will be able to interview him on stream and get you the scoop on what's going on in Mexico as of like right now, because it's really hard to find out recent relevant information since there's such limited work that's being done, and their range is so small and all of that. So this is like the guy in axolotl research, I think, is Luis Zambrano. And so he attributes the axolotl's rapid decline to two primary threats: the whole non-native fish issue and the pollution issue. And so we've already talked about how the carp and tilapia were introduced, how they pick off the young axolotls and everything, but also pollution is absolutely terrible. And it's really, really tricky to tackle. Oh, hold on. Because whenever a storm fills up Mexico City's sewer systems, which are aging, their sewer systems are really, really bad. It overflows from wastewater treatment systems and then flushes Lake Xochimilco's canals with ammonia, heavy metals, and other toxic chemicals. And so, like I was talking about earlier, axolotls breathe in part through their highly permeable skin, which makes them very, very vulnerable to pollution. So even if we can deal with some of the problems, one of the biggest problems that axolotls face is the pollution problem in Mexico City. And as of right now, conservation efforts really haven't been able to turn the axolotl's decline around. But, you know, hopefully there's stuff that can be done in the future.
Plush is one of those things that's like really difficult to tackle.
Yeah. Okay, and then so now we keep them as our pets, right? That's something in my song that I say. And so we've already shown you all the different variations, or at least most of the variations. Let me pull it back up. Nope. So there's a bunch of the axolotl morphs, right? And so you can find a lot of these, or I mean, honestly, all of these morphs you can only find between the pet trade and the scientific community, except for that wild type. The wild type's the only one that you'll really find in Lake Xochimilco. And so these are all just variations that happen because of they have a gigantic genome, all their DNA and everything. It's crazy. So they just kind of have morphs. They don't go through metamorphosis, but they have different morphs and forms.
They're animorphs.
Oh, I love that series. Did you read that series like a lot? I loved it.
I didn't actually. The
I
covers always scared me as a kid, and I didn't want to touch the books because they looked scary.
Wait, what? The cover scared you?
Yeah, some person turning into an animal.
I mean, yeah, the axolotl. Sorry, not axolotl. The animorph, like changing and stuff. On the covers, they did kind of look pretty weird. Because it's not like a magical looking transformation. It's like literally you transform your body shape and size and features into the creature.
It almost looks like a curse has happened. Body horror.
It's a really good series, though.
It's a lot of running through a forest.
Oh, hello, Dahir.
Hello.
Guitar riff, Lotl running through the forest. Okay, what was the last one I said? Oh, now we keep them as our pets, right? And I mentioned before, most of these you'll see have like a lot lighter colorations than the wild type, right? Well, those wouldn't be very good for in the wild. Get picked off easier.
They are very good for having pets.
Yeah, they're great for pets because they're so interesting. You know, you can get it. This is like designer axolotls. But in the wild, they are going to survive better if they can camouflage. So they need to be able to survive well in dark, murky waters. All right. And then the next lyric that we focus in on is scientists study these little floofs. The floof is like referencing their gills, but just in general, scientists study these little axolotls.
I always thought, well, the first time I heard that song, I thought you were saying goof. Scientists study these little goofs.
Maybe I'll change it. But yeah, so because that's also a valid good one.
Well, floofs also works.
And let's see. So because their healing powers are through the roof. So axolotls have such good regenerative abilities, right? So a number of amphibians, and examples of amphibians are, you know, salamanders, frogs, you know, those are examples of amphibians. So a number of amphibians are capable of regenerating their tails and limbs, but axolotls actually take this up a notch by being able to regenerate their jaws, their spinal cord, their skin, portions of their heart, portions of their brain. It's crazy, absolutely wild.
They grow their spine even.
Yeah, it's amazing just how much they can regrow. And it goes throughout their life too. So researchers are very, very interested in being able to figure out the mystery of the axolotl so that they can try to translate these abilities to humans.
I've got a few things about like their regenerative powers.
Yeah, tell me.
So one moment, I'm sorry. Sorry, I had a bit of a cough.
No worries.
So first of all, can you answer this? How many times can an axolotl regrow its limb? Because like I've seen reports of people saying, oh, they can regrow it up to like 5 times, and people saying they can regrow it up to 80, and it's like, I know that they can regrow it multiple times, but is there a limit? Do you know that?
So as far as we are aware, there is not a limit. They can regrow anything as many times as needed, as long as they are healthy enough and their environmental conditions are okay enough. They'll just keep regrowing things and having that regenerative ability throughout their whole life.
Okay. And the other thing, bit unethical. But I saw a while ago that somebody asked an axolotl researcher if they cut off an axolotl's head, can it regrow? And the answer they gave was probably not. And I kind of like that answer because it's probably not. They had to think about it and they discussed it. Like, it's not an impossibility, but we're not going to go around testing it. You know, it's
Yeah.
not likely, but it could happen. But I recently found an article with pictures, which I should have saved in hindsight. But someone tested it, technically. And the answer is, yeah, they can regrow their head, technically. If the body is still there and you could put the head on the body, it can regrow.
I feel like, I mean, I can't say one way or the other, but I'm pretty sure if it loses its brain and stuff, it probably wouldn't be able to give the signals to the rest of its body, telling it to do things.
Oh, that's what I mean. You gotta put the head and the body together still. Kind of like sewing it back on, I guess.
I don't think that would work.
don't think-
My thought is that it would not survive. Like, they're not immune, or they're not like able to survive everything. Axolotls can be killed. They're hardy creatures, but they're not that hardy. If you cut off its head, it's gonna be dead.
Yeah, don't cut off its head. I'm not saying you should cut off its head.
Like, so Dahir, I don't really know what you're posting. None of it makes any sense to me. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I hadn't really heard of that that argument and wonder before. But I would really not imagine that they'd be able to survive. Because by that point, they'd be probably pretty sick, and they wouldn't be able to have enough time to, pull themselves back together.
Find the pictures.
I don't think I want to see.
Yeah, maybe I won't then.
Yeah,
it's not like a headless axolotl. It's more of a. It's hard to explain. It was really creepy.
You can keep your creepy axolotl. All right. Oh, and because of how scientists are like so involved with trying to figure out the mystery of axolotls, right? So they have 32 billion DNA bases and a genome 10 times the size of humans. So it's been quite a challenge for scientists to sequence the DNA. But so far they've been able to figure out how axolotls use their stem cells to regenerate tissues, a little bit. Like, they've already identified 2 genes used in regeneration. And they're starting to expand the research to include other internal organs and retina regeneration. Like, just imagine the possibilities of understanding how axolotls regenerate could mean that if somebody was injured in the eye or blinded or something, you'd be able to, I don't know, like get a shot or something, shot of some kind of a protein, and you'd be able to, you know, heal, regrow that damaged eye. Isn't that really crazy to think about?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. All right, let me see. Ooh. Okay, so I believe that was so that's all of the lyrics basically for my song, right? So they are critically endangered despite the fact that they are so like obviously everywhere in science labs and in the pet trade, right? So how could they possibly be so endangered? I just think it's so crazy and sad to think about that they're loved and appreciated across the world, but in their home range, you can hardly ever find them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's watch this little video, because that's basically the whole, it's a paradox. Conservation paradox is that they're found in all these places except in the wild.
Axolotls are a conservation paradox. For decades, this strange salamander has been used in labs all over the world to study everything from development and cancer to limb and organ regeneration. But in the wild, this popular research animal and pet is headed towards extinction. The natural habitat of axolotls is the murky canals of Mexico City. But researchers have discovered that their population has dropped from up to 6,000 per square kilometre 20 years ago to just 35 per square kilometre. Mexican scientists are studying these remaining wild axolotls and trying to combat the various threats they face, like pollution, loss of habitat, and the introduction of non-native predators like carp and tilapia. Most captive axolotls are extremely inbred, making them vulnerable to disease and genetic abnormalities. So saving the wild salamanders could be vital for research, as well as the future of this fascinating species.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I clicked buttons. All right. So, sorry, I clicked buttons, and so now I got a little bit messed up. What'd you guys think of that video?
Good video. Good video. Good video.
All right, confirmed good video. Well, we don't have too much time left, which is good. Or, I mean, it's not good, but it's like we're wrapping up, and we're almost to our end.
Sick of talking to me.
What?
What?
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I didn't. No, it's fine.
Sounds like you said something sus. Okay, so I would like to hear your story. So we talked about all the different things that axolotls are facing. So why don't we talk about, or let's put ourselves in the life of an axolotl, the kinds of situations they could encounter, the harsh realities that they could face sometimes.
Right.
And then I've got one more video to show you guys afterwards. So Meri, take us away.
Oh boy, okay.
You read a story for us.
I wrote a very short story. Let me just pull it up. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It feels like I'm giving a book report in front of the whole class. It's like everything flashed before me, my whole life. Born in this world already, and already the home I lived in was nearly destroyed. Though I got lucky, I grew, and I survived. That's just kind of what we do, though. I once had an encounter with a tilapia. I know humans eat those quite regularly, but this one wanted to eat me. I almost did, too. Ripped off a couple of my limbs. Strange thing is, they don't even belong here. They're invading. Still, I got lucky. I regrew my limbs, and I survived. That's kind of what we do. Embarrassing as it is, I've fallen for a trap before. It must have malfunctioned, though, as I did get away. A bitter mercy, though, when it broke and crushed my spine, pierced my lung, I thought for sure I would die. But I didn't, even though all I could really do is sit there and wait. I must have been lucky, because I was able to regrow, and I survived. I guess that's just what I do. Though now my luck seems to have run out. This pollution is finally having a toll on me. I can feel my body shutting down. I don't know how many of us are out there, all these things killing us off. But I still have hope. Hope that we might be lucky, that we'll regrow, and that we will survive. That's just kind of what we do.
All right, that was great. It was so sad and so like bittersweet, but it was really, really good and heartfelt. Axolotls go through so much, and
We do.
and like nobody knows about them. And the people who do know about them only know about them because of the pet trade or because of scientific research. They don't think about the kinds of problems that they might have in the wild. Yeah.
They go through like so many issues.
They really
It's
do. So let me just
honestly
give you a round of applause. Hey,
Oh,
hey,
thank
clap.
you. Oh no!
You get 2 sounds of clapping in the background for applause.
Every time you turn to look at me, you bright.
Thank you.
But yes, so thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was great.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a video that goes perfectly, you know. You have hope, right? There is
do.
hope that maybe something could change. And who knows what kind of ally might be the one to provide that kind of hope. And let's take a look at, you know, this video from 2018. So it's pretty recent. It's a couple of years old, but it's kind of recent. And it's still ongoing. Meet these nuns who are saving and working to save axolotls from extinction.
Yes.
By 2025, they will be extinct in the wild if we don't do anything.
If we didn't intervene, we probably would be talking now to make it official that the species is close to extinction. We thought if somebody knows about how to keep that species, it's the nuns.
They really believe in conservation and they love to do it.
This vast lake used to be teeming with this species of axolotl, the achoches, but now the scientists studying them have set out traps to catch them, and this is a half-kilometre long line with 100 traps, and they're hoping to find just 2 or 3 that they can take some samples from.
Okay. You wanna see it? Yeah.
Little guy. So you're just getting it out of the trap now?
Yeah, we take some body measurements and we take samples from skin in order to study disease.
The pollution of the towns that live around the area go to the lake, so it's really endangered lake. I mean, the water quality and everything is decreased.
How important is it then to breed the Achoques in captivity?
Yeah, it's very important because if something happens in the lake and if the species gone extinct, we can be able to release some animals to the lake to be alive again.
In Mexico, we have 17 different species of axolotls. All of them, except one, in some category and are in danger.
In 1998, there were about 6,000 axolotls per kilometer squared, and to 2014, only 36 axolotls per kilometer squared.
Wow. So
Yeah.
the population's been decimated over that time.
Yeah, by 2025, they will be extinct in the wild if we don't do anything.
It's a tragedy that they're struggling in the wild, and that's because humans have encroached on their natural habitat. And these things are so important and interesting because they represent the very first vertebrates to move onto land. Most people who use axolotls study them because of their ability to regenerate, and it's remarkable. An axolotl can regenerate almost anything. It can regenerate its brain, it can regenerate its heart, and so many people hope that we can identify some latent ability to regenerate in human tissues by studying and understanding how axolotls regenerate.
Welcome to the Monasterio and Pátzcuaro. This is a place that hosts a conservation breeding program with a difference.
De que ellos piden así como protección, ¿verdad? Piden cuidado, piden que uno pues vea por ellos. Y yo creo que es precisamente lo que estamos haciendo, ¿no? Cuidarlos, curarlos, ver su alimentación.
¿Y esta es buena para la tos, dicen? Ok, ¿y qué más? We came from Sacramento, California, and we just heard that this is really good for cough, and so we decided to come and check it out. Bronquitis y el asma. Ok, gracias.
Y bueno, también conocieron las propiedades que tiene el achoque, tanto como alimento como medicina natural. Y bueno, empezaron ellas a elaborar este jarabe. Y bueno, esto se ha transmitido de generación en generación.
So I think this is the syrup. This is similar to the syrup that the nuns sell, but this is actually labelled axolotl medicine. So you can see a picture of the axolotl on the label, Axolotls, and it's for bronchitis, asthma, and too much phlegm.
This is real good.
This is good,
It's
is
for
it?
the cough.
It's for, and does it work?
Huh?
Does it work?
For the
Is it for the cough?
For cough.
Do you recommend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Cool.
of it. This too is good.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's good
This
too.
is a choke one, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay.
Perfecto. Okay. When ready, Evan? The skills and all these years of expertise can help the species.
How important do you think the nuns will be in saving this species from extinction?
The role of nuns is going to modify completely the game. They have a fantastic genetic pool of achoques. We're going to take now the DNA from the robin, the tongue. If we needed to bring new achoques back to the lake, they would be a fantastic candidate to supply animals to bring them back to the wild. Stimulate to open the mouth. Participate in research with the nuns. It's quite unusual. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you do in your life. At the end of the day, we try to focus on conservation, which is great.
It's so interesting that the reason that the nuns were first associated with this species is because they make this medicine. People really believe in the healing power of this animal, and that's part of its mysticism and its association with Mexican culture. It's such a strange thing to go from that to bringing this animal back from the brink of extinction.
Bueno, yo creo que es importante no solamente para la comunidad de monjas y de la orden, sino para, pues, a nivel nacional e internacional, porque es endémico. Entonces, de aquí viene su importancia. Si nosotros no nos proponemos en rescatar esta especie, bueno, pues nada más que se pierde de la naturaleza.
All right. So, an unlikely hero has been found in some nuns. How about that?
Quite the plot twist.
Right? Who would have ever thought that, like, nuns are gonna be the ones to potentially save this species, right? But it doesn't matter, like, what you do or you come from. You know, it's just about the conservation, like the scientist was saying. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Saw
I
it
just
coming.
found out about that today.
Yeah, I think that it's really fascinating. I'm a little bit like, I'm like, I don't know, when it comes to the whole medicine thing that they've got going on. I'm like, what exactly are they using?
Mm-hmm. It's like,
But
little sus.
yeah, a little sus, but I guess they got the okay to operate, so it's probably all legal and okay and kosher and stuff. Like, obviously not kosher, but you know, I don't know what kosher really means, but I just know people say, like, you know, it's probably all kosher, but I don't actually. I know that's a special kind of. We'll just move on. I don't know what that word means. But it's probably all on the up and up, is what I'm trying to say. And if they're doing it for good reasons, to help protect the species and also to help people in the area with their health, and also, you know, just because they want to help the animals, then their hearts are in a good place. And they're also nuns, so hopefully their hearts were already in a good place.
Maybe I'll become a nun to help axolotls. That's how
Yeah.
it works, right?
Yeah. Become a nun. Save axolotls. I can't hydrate. I haven't hydrated at all today.
What?
It's 4 o'clock. Oh God, I'm dying.
You gotta hydrate.
I haven't had a single drink today. Oh my goodness.
Lotl.
Hey. Okay. All right. I've been provided with water. Can you hear it? All right.
Can you hear me drinking? Hydrating?
Yes, we shall hydrate. Thank you, Dragon, for reminding me that I have not drank a single thing of anything today.
Lotl, you fool! You need to drink.
I actually realized that right before I started singing too, or during singing. I was like, oh man, I'm parched. And I was like, I sure hope I can sing this song. But I was able to get through it, and it was okay, and then I forgot all about that thought. Oh, look, I died. Help. Okay, I'm back. All right. So, do you have anything else to share? Any fun facts that we've missed, or any cool anything about axolotls?
Oh wait, I might have one. Hang on. Can you put videos up?
Yeah, if you send it to me.
All right. So here's this, and it demonstrates that an axolotl's reflexes are unmatched by any other animal in the entire world.
Okay. All right, unmatched reflexes. Here we go. Wait, I know it was really fast. It was really fast. Let me show it again. Yeah, so fast. In slow motion this time. Slow motion. So fast.
That's one of my favorite videos. Thank you for sharing.
You are welcome. I think that's actually one of the things I have set up for donations. Not at the moment, because at least I don't think I have it properly set up on YouTube. But that's one of my donation things or something. So it pops up every so often. Maybe it's for bits. I think it was for bits on Twitch.
I'm gonna have to give you some bits.
Because it represents the little drop in the bucket kind of thing. And so I was like, yeah, little bits. And then it goes nom nom at the bits. Yeah, that was my thought process. Oh man, now I'm really thirsty.
You gotta drink. Okay, here's a fun axolotl fact. They're aquatic. Lotl.
Yes, I'm an axolotl goddess, though, so my goddess powers allow me to survive without liquid for long periods of time. That would be unheard of by both human and axolotl standards. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me and Meri. It was so fun. I hope you learned a whole lot of things about axolotls. I have a special person that I would like to have us raid on over to today. I don't know if you all are aware of and know who Sunhee is, but Sunhee is absolutely an amazing VTuber, and she is doing a donathon right now to help fund a trip to go visit Panama, to visit family and say goodbye to someone who was very special who passed. So she's trying to raise money to go to Panama, and I think we should all go there and support her. So let me just pull up. Let me just pull up, you know, I have to find the link. But in the meantime, while I'm pulling up that link, why don't you guys tell me what your favorite axolotl fact is?
My favorite axolotl fact is just about their gills.
What about their gills?
Just that they got external ones.
Oh, okay.
It's a very obvious fact, but like, I didn't know external gills were a thing until running into an axolotl.
Same. Yeah, that was definitely a very, very different thing that you don't find anywhere, really.
Yeah, it's like more vulnerable, but also makes them super. You get more gill per gill.
More gill per gill.
Yeah. Egg fusion.
Egg fusion. Oh yeah, egg fusion. For the what's it called?
The chimera.
The chimera axolotls. All right, so everybody, this is the link to go and raid on over to Sunhee, and the raid message is gonna be a Lotl love from 2 axolotls.
2 of them.
So a lot of love from 2 axolotls, and if you've got my Twitch emotes, then use them, and if not, then just use hearts or something. So let's all head on over there. Join me, I'm going there now.
Me too.
All right, there we go. So we have raided on over. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining.
Have a good day.
All right, bye-bye. All right, and we are